Hey everyone, it's Laura here. Hope you are all good. I unfortunately have the cold thanks to this amazing weather in Scotland. The joys of being Scottish. So it's taken me a couple of days to get round to doing my second part of the video on Chris Watts' transcript. I actually wanted to quickly just talk about the Dr. Phil episode on Monday with Shanann's parents. Was really sad. They are just such a lovely family. They have they have big hearts, is what I'm trying to say. Bigger than the Watts family, that's for sure. They're such a lovely family. They don't deserve any of what they've been through and the things that they've been through with all people online. It's a shame. But I do want to just get through the rest of this and then maybe just start moving on to some other stuff. So when I left off, I got through sort of the most horrendous part of it, I would say. We sort of left off where he was basically saying he felt like he was in a rage and not in his right mind. So we're just going to start from where we left off. So he was angry with Shanann over separating him from his family. When he and Shanann get married, he told his family he didn't need them anymore because he had Shanann. He cussed his mother out and did things to his family he never thought he would do. He's not sure if Shanann coached him or not, referring to how Watts treated his family. Shut up. Just shut up. You made your own choice in that one. He was angry since July 2018 when Shanann told him his parents could never see their granddaughters again. See, now he was angry since July. Funny that. I don't know if that had been something to do with it, that something inside me just triggered and it just like all the pent up from the wedding and everything, it's like a long fuse that finally just went to its end. His mother and Shanann never got along after he proposed in 2012. His mother and Shanann never agreed on anything. His mother possibly thought Shanann wasn't good enough. His mother always thought Shanann was hiding something from her past from him. His mother and sister didn't like Shanann and felt like Shanann took him away from them and moved him out to the Colorado. Again, he's a grown man. He made his own choices. His grandmother was the only one who came to his wedding. I mean, imagine not going to your own child's wedding. Who does that? He danced with his grandmother and his friend's mother during the groom's dance at his wedding. He would never have thought his marriage and relationship to Shanann was bad if he hadn't met Kessinger. He looks outside every day and wonders what he could be doing with his kids. Right now, I'd have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old and more than likely a 1-month-old son and a beautiful wife. And right now, it's just me. Well, whose fault's that? With regard to finding out Shanann was pregnant with Nico, Shanann was pregnant with Nico within 2 weeks of trying. He was surprised and scared when he found out Shanann was pregnant. I've seen the video. He may have not looked excited about the pregnancy because he may have felt guilty about talking to Kessinger at work. There were never any incidents of domestic violence between he and Shanann during the relationship. Shanann was the dominant person who always took control of everything. He just went with the flow and always wanted to be in the back row. He never felt belittled by Shanann. He was the introvert and Shanann took control of most situations. He hated being in videos, but he went along with it because it was for Shanann's business. He couldn't tell Shanann he didn't want to be in the videos because it would have made her mad. Shanann was a good salesperson and could have sold everything we were wearing back to us without even knowing. He hated being out there for everyone to see, or not maybe for Kessinger to see, I would imagine, not for everyone. Was against doing their gender reveal live on Facebook. Again, I wonder why. With regard to what Watts planned to do with his missing family, he had no idea what he was going to do. I don't really believe that. He didn't understand how he was able to act normal around his co-workers. His plan was not well thought out and not a criminal minds type of thing. With regard to how Watts felt when he wore 5 patches, when he put on the dual burn patches, his Apple Watch would show he was exercising all day because of his increased heart rate. When he wore the dual burn patches, it felt like he was working out all day. Kessinger told him he would sometimes fall asleep on her couch in the middle of a conversation and then would wake up and finish what he was saying. Watts indicated it may have been related to insomnia. He felt different on the dual burn patches than when he wore the other 5 patch. The dual burn patches made him feel like he could go longer and longer each day. He only slept approximately 3 hours each night. Looking back, he realised God gave him plenty of opportunities for him to get out, referring to getting out of his relationship with Kessinger. His friend Jeremy Lindstrom asked him to go to a Broncos game with him on Saturday, August the 11th. The evening, Watts said no. He should have gone with Lindstrom and told Kessinger he couldn't find a babysitter. Being away from Kessinger might have caused a light switch to go off in his head. If he would have gone to the Broncos game, it might have put him in a different trajectory. I'd love to know how going to a football game is going to change anything about you having an affair. You guys see the light at a Broncos game? He wished now that he and Shanann only went to North Carolina for a week and Shanann wasn't gone the 5 weeks straight. When the incident with Celeste and the nut allergy occurred at his parents', which he referred to as Nutgate, he should have stopped everything with Kessinger and concentrated on fixing the relationship with Shanann and his family. Shanann and his parents got into a serious argument over the nut incident and his nephew told Bella to hide behind the curtain because he didn't think her mum Shanann would let her ever come back again. See, I don't believe that a child said that. I really don't. I think the parents said that. Celeste celebrated her birthday in North Carolina a few days after, July the 17th, and his parents did not attend after Shanann made a post on Facebook about allergies. Shanann said the post wasn't directed at anyone in particular, but Shanann had a method to the madness. Shanann was convinced his mother tried to kill their daughter by putting nuts in front of Celeste. His mother felt like Celeste's allergy was not serious. After the incident with the nut allergy and Celeste, he didn't speak to his parents until August the 6th. His parents said they weren't sure they could ever forgive Shanann. His parents asked him if he had someone else because they saw him texting someone, Kessinger, the entire time he was at their house in North Carolina. Remember, she says she was telling Chris to focus on working on their relationship and, they texted once or twice. Shanann told him he wasn't allowed to call or talk to his parents. His dad was his hero and he felt like he lost him because he wasn't able to talk to him for 3 weeks. His father took the entire week off when they were in North Carolina, but Shanann booked them for 5 days at the beach instead. With regard to Watts and Kessinger talked about regarding their future together, Kessinger told him she would help him find an affordable apartment around Brighton at Fort Lupton. Kessinger did not want to move in with her. For goodness sakes, what was wrong with me? Kessinger did not want him to move in with her. It would have been too soon to move in with Kessinger because they had only dated for about a month. Kessinger's apartment was her shield, her safe place, and was the reason she never liked people to come over. Kessinger let him come over because her dog liked him and she felt like he belonged there. Shanann always checked his cell phone, so he communicated with Kessinger on his work phone. He used the secret calculator app on his personal cell phone to store his and Kessinger's pictures. He deleted his Facebook account on August the 8th after Kessinger told him she told her friends the truth about him. He was afraid Kessinger's friends would try and look him up on Facebook and would see his wife was pregnant. I wouldn't be surprised if Kessinger had already done that. With regard to if he and Kessinger ever fought, they never fought, but he had to calm Kessinger down a few times. Kessinger got upset when she realised she would always be the other person. Plant. And he, Watts, would always put his wife first. Again, plant. The first incident where Kessinger realised he put his wife first was when he left her house on July the 4th. He told Kessinger just because he had to leave that didn't mean she needed to take a step back. Kessinger told him she thought it was better they didn't see each other the rest of that day. Kessinger ended up asking him to come over after she returned from a baseball game and he went to her house. She does sound like she's bipolar, actually. Kessinger set up a couple of dates on her eHarmony app and the men never showed up. He didn't know Kessinger was dating other people until a few weeks later. I think she was just faking that one. Kessinger thought he was different because he would fix things around her apartment for her, which no one had ever done in the past. Kessinger's friend Jim was her friend for a long time and worked in the oil field. With regard to the selling of his and Shanann's house, around the first week of August 2018, Shanann sent an email to Ann Meadows about selling their house. Meadows recommended they get a pre-approved for another house before they sold their house. He and Shanann talked about buying a home in Brighton, Colorado so they could stay in the Adams 12 school district. He and Shanann had a lot of stress during their marriage, which included Shanann's parents living with them for 16 months and not having much alone time. He never thought he and Shanann would have to file for bankruptcy. Most of the bankruptcy dealt with credit card debt from their wedding. They had a lot of doctor bills from the girls always being sick. They were behind on the mortgage payment. Shanann was sending checks for their HOA payment to the wrong address for an entire year. He didn't have access to their bank account on his cell phone and never asked Shanann to see their account. Ever since he sold his four-wheeler for less than he owned it, Shanann wouldn't let him do anything with their finances. Well, no wonder. He would be that daft. When he worked for Longmont Ford, he would just bring Shanann his paycheck. With regard to Watts calling the school the morning after the murders, he was freaking out about what he had just done. It was stupid to call the school or Ann Meadows. It made sense. They were suspicious about him because he probably sounded eccentric on the phone. Imagine. With regard to why Watts pleaded guilty, I didn't want anybody else. I didn't want them to go through this for 2 or 4 years. I didn't want my attorneys to lie for me for 2 or 4 years. They would have done anything I told them to. I don't see how they can do that. Like, you know, that's what attorneys do, you know, like they take their defendant and they say, hey, like, what happened? Okay, we'll go with that story. A few weeks after his arrest, he told his attorneys the truth about everything that happened. His attorneys asked him if he was ever offered a plea deal to plead guilty, would he take it? He said he would plead guilty in order to end it all. His attorneys asked him about 100 times if he was sure he wanted to take the plea deal. Before he walked into the courtroom, his attorneys asked him again if he was sure he wanted to take the deal. His attorneys never told him he had to take the plea deal, and they had a lot of creative motions to file and were ready to fight. He told Walsh he didn't want him to fight for something where the story wasn't true because it only would have gotten worse for everyone. He does not regret taking a plea deal, but he never thought he'd be in prison for the rest of his life. Really? You killed your entire family and pled guilty to it, and you didn't think you were going to spend the rest of your life in prison? For a high IQ, you're not very smart. I don't think I'm going to spend the rest of my life in prison. He didn't want for everyone to have to relive the case every day. He told his parents the night before he pled guilty that he was pleading guilty for a reason. His parents had received correspondence from people all over the world who told him the Thrive patch wasn't FDA approved and can alter someone's mind. His parents still believe he was railroaded and felt pressured to plead guilty. He does not feel he was pressured because his defence team asked him plenty of times. His parents talked to him about using the defence of CPTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, for being in an emotionally abusive relationship. Ridiculous. He could relate to some of the information, but it doesn't make up for what happened. I love how he talks about how great Shanann was and never belittled you know, she was a great wife, yet he then says, oh aye, but there is some bits in it that are cause for abusive relationship. When he talks to his parents on the phone, they believe there is a chance he could get out of prison. Delusional parents. On his parents' bad days, they tell him he should fight it. His mother loses it a lot on the phone. His dad always tells his mother not to talk about it with him on the phone because he will go back to the cell and think about it all night. Boo-hoo. He plans on telling his parents the truth about what happened when they visit him in April, May. His parents sold his toolbox so they could afford their travel to Wisconsin prison. I'm curious about that because Shanann's parents said in that they asked for the toolbox and other stuff for Chris Watts's. Never asked anything of the grandchildren's, which is just disgusting because it's your grandchildren at the end of the day. But now that toolbox is Chris Watts's property. That property gets sold and money is exchanged. Should some of that money not then go to the Rusaks? But you know, with the wrongful death suit, I don't think that's very fair. It is still his property. That classes as any money that's made from his stuff goes to them. In October 2018, the prosecutors went to Sandy and Frank Rusek and asked them about a possible plea deal instead of the death penalty. His defence team told him there wasn't enough evidence on certain things and he told the defence team it needed to end. He felt like his attorneys were fair and were similar to guidance counsellors. He felt like he was in the charge of his own decision regarding his case. His attorneys told him he needed to show more emotion in court so he didn't look like a cold person. His attorneys told him he could look at the crime pictures and he refused. He prayed for the hazmat workers and anyone else who had to see the aftermath because we all know they all had to go to therapy after seeing what they saw. His attorneys told him if the case went to court, he would have to look at the pictures so he didn't have a reaction when they were shown in court. Watts asked if Sandy and Frank Rusek saw the crime scene pictures and he was told no. He didn't want Sandy or Frank Rusek to have to see any of the pictures, hear anyone talk about what they saw, or hear anyone bash their daughter's memory. It's funny that. It's not too late for that, or she's already been bashed. He wanted everyone to know Shanann was a loving wife and always helped everyone else. He remembered Agent Lee, an SA coder, came into the room after his father left and tried to get the true story from him. He wanted to bang his head against the table. He didn't want all of us, SA coder, Detective Bemover, or myself to have to get on the witness stand and testify about what we saw. He didn't want everyone to have to relive what happened over and over for years. He felt like Shanann's family could start to have closure. With regard to if his decision involved not having the death penalty, when he was in his cell in Will County Jail, he felt like he should have died. All the inmates would yell at him at night and would explain to him all the ways he could kill himself in his cell by drowning himself in the toilet or hanging himself. He didn't kill himself because he felt like he may have a different purpose. He prayed to God that God would move him away from Colorado. He heard there was a hit on him in Colorado, that's no surprise there. He felt like he would last about a week in Colorado DOC before someone would kill him. He felt like God moved him to Wisconsin for a reason. With regard to if Watts thought about trying to use the defence about Shanann killing the girls at trial, he never thought about Shanann killing the girls until it was mentioned to him during the interrogation. Now we all know that's true. They needed something. Whether it was a full truth or not, they needed something. And their main focus as well was trying to find the girls and Shanann. So they basically gave him a chance to give a lie version. You know, that's when you say, I tell the truth a wee bit, but everything else around it's just one big fat lie. But it puts you there. So, you know, it worked. After it was mentioned that Shanann may have killed the girls, he just went with it. He knew his dad was out in the lobby and his parents would probably believe Shanann was involved because they never liked Shanann. Horrible. I never thought about that story, and you know, that's what my attorneys were going with. 2 weeks after his arrest, he told his attorneys the truth about what happened, and they were quiet and wrote it down. His attorneys told him they wouldn't judge him and appreciated his honesty. With regard to Watts' past childhoods, he was always someone who tried to coax people down. He was in one fight in his entire life, which was in 3rd grade, and he and the other kid ripped each other's shirts and left crying. He wasn't popular, but was never bullied at school. He had braces and the Jim Carrey bowl haircut. He never talked to many people at school, even though people knew who he was. He never had a girlfriend in high school and always flew under the radar. He didn't have low self-esteem, but always didn't want to be part of a group or a clique. He had a couple of friends and appreciated his close-knit relationships. His sister was always the popular one and was outgoing. He and his grandmother would sit outside in the middle of the school, and his sister would always be the last one out of school because she had to talk to everyone in the hallway. He was the opposite of his sister. He didn't want to be popular and just wanted to be a regular guy. He cannot recall anything he would have had pent up from childhood. With regard to how his father's addiction affected him, his father became addicted to a white powdery substance, possibly cocaine, after he left home. I remember reading that in the Discovery, that he's going back to his childhood and things, and it was saying that his dad ended up with a substance abuse after he left home. No, the family dynamics in that family are just whack. I mean, I've never heard of a parent that actually has ended up an addict because their child flew the nest and grew up and wanted to go away and make a life for themselves. I mean, I love my daughter. And the day she comes to me and says, Mum, I'm moving out, I will be heartbroken, I'll be devastated. But the day she moves out, I'll be throwing a flipping party because I have done it and I am free. And I no longer have to worry about her. And I don't need to spend as much money. I would be really, really happy. I'm sorry. I mean, who does that? Bloody weirdo. His father's addiction didn't hurt him as much as he thought it would. When he talked to his father about his addiction, his father immediately changed the subject. His father was coping with the fact that he never came home. His mother initially believed his father was having an affair because he couldn't account for missing money. He has never used drugs and tried to talk to his father about why he was using drugs. He told his father he was throwing his life away. His father lost a lot of weight and his nose bled all the time. After he talked to his father stopped using drugs. He was always closer to his father than his mother. His father always came to every one of his sporting events. His father would come to his games even if he wasn't going to play. He never saw his father cry. His mother was a loving mother and gave him affection. His mother always wanted to know how he felt. If there was something wrong, he would never have told anyone and dealt with it himself. I don't know if growing up that way kept me that way. Well, of course it did. Deal with things on your own, but then they build up so much that you can't deal with them and they take a hold of you. You never fought in a way they could take hold of you. With regard to Watts planting evidence, after he murdered Shanann, he threw her cell phone and Apple Watch on the couch. If he had planned it, he would have taken her items out to the oil tank site with him. No, would he really? I love how he says if he planned it though. He took off Shanann's wedding ring and put it on the counter so it looked like she didn't want to fix their marriage and wanted a divorce. Now see, he was plenty aware of doing that. He threw the therapy book away in the trash so it looked like she believed nothing would work in their marriage. Again, for somebody who wasn't in their right mind that morning, it's amazing that he managed to do those two things. As opposed to the phone and the watch and everything else. I don't think Chris Watts anticipated Nicole Atkinson coming in as fast as she did. And I think that Nicole Atkinson and their next door neighbour Nate are absolute bloody heroes. So they are. I think he thought he had time to come back and maybe clear some things up. And it massively blew up right in his face. He may have gone down to the basement to get trash bags. As we know, the motion alarm in the basement had went off, and he did come up on his phone and stuff, and he mentioned it, and it turns out it may have been actually him in the basement. He does not recall going downstairs to work out that morning. With regard to what he did after he went into the house that afternoon of Monday the 13th of August, Watts was in the house for approximately 1 minute before he went to the front door and opened it for law enforcement. He went in through the garage door and opened the front door. He ran upstairs and pretended to look around for Shanann and the girls. Atkinson's son found Shanann's cell phone. With regard to Watts looking in the passenger side of Shanann's vehicle, when he entered the garage, he does not recall looking in Shanann's vehicle, but he possibly opened the passenger door because Atkinson had mentioned seeing the girls' car seats. He bent down in that car, he was doing something, but it wasn't checking for the car seats. You only need to look in the window for that. He threw the sheet to their bed away the day after the murders. When you strangle someone, sometimes they evacuate their bowels, and that occurred with Shanann, and was the reason he threw away the sheet. With regard to Watts' communication with his father the morning he picked him up from the airport, it was strange when he picked up his father because he knew it was probably the last time he would see him on the outside. His father just wanted to talk about sports when they were in the car together, and never mind your missing grandchildren. His father always tries to deflect the conversations and change the conversations when they needed to discuss something important. His father asked him if he knew where Shanann and the girls were. Maybe he kind of figured out something maybe happened and he just wanted to talk to me as a son. He told his father never left during the entire polygraph interview. If his father knew what actually happened, his father would have told him to admit what he had done. His mother was always the more aggressive one in his parents' marriage. Yeah, that mousy butter wouldn't melt act that Cindy Watts puts on, never bought it for a second. He and Shanann's marriage seemed to mirror Shanann's mum and dad's relationship. Shanann, similar to her mother, and he was like Shanann's father. Shanann's mother always told her she would marry someone like her father. Shanann's father always liked him because he helped fix Shanann's car when they were dating. He has always been the one to help people, not hurt them. He never tried to change Shanann. Shanann's husband in her first marriage was more like her mother, and it didn't work. I'm going to leave it for there for now because my throat is going really bad. So there's only just another like couple of pages of this anyway to read, and that'll be it. I'm going to start looking into the Kelsey Berriff case a wee bit more. I'm going to print out all the warrants and things like that and have a look through them and a few other things. And yeah, so get the third part of the Chris Watts one done soon. Actually, I will do it actually tomorrow so that it's done. And just maybe move on to something a bit different just now. Also, I heard he'd been put on suicide watch because of what he told the agents about when he was in Colorado and them shouting how he could kill himself and things like that. But I don't understand why they're putting him on suicide watch when it happened in Colorado and he's now in Wisconsin and said he seems to be getting on fine. So I don't know, that's just a bit weird, but that's what I heard anyway. But I'm going to leave it from there just now before I lose my voice. And I will be back for the third part, and I apologise for the bad reading today. I feel terrible. But I just want to say thanks again everyone who watches my videos and takes the time to like and comment, and please subscribe, and hope you enjoy, and I will be back for more, and I will I promise I will get better at this. This is ridiculous. Okay, so I'll see you later for part 3. Bye.